The innocent people is the best judgment. If they are innocent, they are extremely well equipped to judge a person who has love and who does not have. And they are the best people because they will appreciate you the best. They will understand that these are people of some high quality. But if they are not innocent, cunning, some people are extremely cunning. That's the intelligence part of it. They can never appreciate you. They'll appreciate something which is something very, very abnormal, which from divine part, divine angle is very, very obtuse and funny. But they will never appreciate you. Never, cannot. Up to a point they may, but may not. Doesn't matter. You have to appreciate yourself. You have to know that you are not unkind to anyone, you are not judging others, and that you are appreciating everything in that person, whatever is good in him as a human being. It works. You have seen this all has worked through my love and compassion. But I am not conscious that I am giving you love or compassion or anything. I am not conscious even that I am giving you anything. I am not even conscious as to I have created such a lot of beautiful people. I am not conscious of that. It's just happening. Just like this tree is here, see, it is not conscious as to what it is and what it looks like. It just is there. In the same way, if it happens to you, I tell you, you become really the source of such a joy for everyone. Now, what do we have to do for this world? What is needed to be done for this world? People talk of peace, this, that. There's no need to do anything. It's just you become a personality of that kind. You emit peace, you emit love, you emit joy to others. Now, this power is within you because it is built in, is within you. It is in a potential form in every person. Only thing, it has to be brought out. Now, with affection, you may not, but with love and feeling, that is innate within you. Because there are no words for such subtle things that are within yourself. Because so far people don't know what are these things that make you feel oneness with others. All this can happen to you very easily when you understand that you are not this mind, you are not this body, you are not this attention, you are the spirit. Then you introspect, am I the spirit? Alright, if I am the spirit, what am I doing? Once you become the spirit, then you feel, why not others? Out of love and compassion, not for becoming some leaders or anything, just out of love. If I am that, why not make others like that? And that is how Sahaja Yoga has spread so much. And we have such gems of people, such beautiful people, that I really never expected so much to happen in my lifetime. It has never happened with any saint, any incarnation, any prophet. So now you people have become absolutely khalis, means absolutely you have vacated yourself fully. The story of Radha and Krishna is very beautiful, where Radha said that, why do you take this मुरली को अंग्रेजी शब्द नहीं आता, flute to your throat. Why do you take this? Because Murli is such a sweet thing, na? Flute is not so sweet. But why do you take this flute to your lips? After all, she must have been jealous, I think so. So, it's a story, just a story. So, he said, why not go and ask the flute? So, flute she went and asked, why Sri Krishna takes you to his lips all the time? So she said, I have become completely hollow. There's nothing in me. He puts me to his lips, and people say that I am playing the tune. It's he who is playing the tune. Where am I? I am not there. I am just enjoying the same tune which is passing through me. That is the expression. But then Radha told Sri Krishna, why don't you make the same way as the flute? So this is what you have to be, the flute. Means you have to be hollow within yourself. All these little things, which come into your life are not important. What is important is, have you become completely hollow? This is where I would say introspection will help. The one who makes the flute is also within you. So let there be a flute made out of you by yourself. This is the way you make yourself what you have to become. In Gita, Sri Krishna has said, Atmaneva Atmane Tushta. Means the spirit gets satisfied by itself. Isn't it very difficult thing to understand? How can the spirit be satisfied by itself? But now you can understand what Sri Krishna said, that your own spirit becomes satisfied with itself. Then it doesn't require any other satisfaction. You seek the comfort of your spirit, you seek the joy of your spirit, you seek the beauty of your spirit. You don't even seek, but it is in itself is filled with that joy of the spirit. And it only can be satisfied by itself. There are many people who say, I am not satisfied. You see, this I am not very much satisfied. It's not that I am satisfied. In the same way, the spirit can say, I am not satisfied. But the spirit can be satisfied with spirit only. It's like the reflection in the mirror. When you look at the mirror, you see there your own reflection. Now, if the mirror is not all right, I will say I am not satisfied with what reflection we are getting out of this mirror. So you will change the mirror, you will bring the better mirror, you will try to get a better picture of yourself. In the same way, the spirit which is reflected within you wants to see its own image. And then what you do is you go on somehow or other changing, cleaning, making it all right through your meditation, so that your spirit is satisfied with the spirit. Sri Krishna wrote Gita in such an ambiguous manner because he was very clever. He knew human beings cannot take things straight, so tell them this way, so that they'll run around and then ultimately they will come to truth. But truth is very simple. Truth is extremely simple. You don't have to go here and there, and you don't have to stand on your legs or feet all the time. You don't have to fight with anything. You don't have to take to some sort of an tapasya, abstinence, nothing. Only just you become like a flute. You become hollow. It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all for Sahaja-yogis, because already the Kundalini has made you hollow. It's not difficult. But still, I find people deviate, their attention goes here and there. So many people have told me how their problems will solve without doing anything about it. I said, what did you do? No, mother, we just put it at your lotus feet. I said, really? Yes, that's all. Or we were just looking at the problem, what the problem is. We are standing outside and looking at the problem, and the problem got solved. Even the most difficult problems that you think can be solved very easily. Because you have powers. Your powers are great. You are saints, but more than saints. Much more than saints, because you are born at such a volatile times. Like supposing you have a light, in darkness you are finding something, you bump into that and bump into that. But supposing this is a place full of gas. You bring one light, the whole thing becomes enlightened. Like that you have powers. But you must get out of this nonsense of me, my and mine. I don't know how to say you get out. It's not like a swimming pool that you jump into it and get out. It's not like that. It is another kind of a very subtle understanding that our roots have to grow. And for growing our roots, we have to go within ourselves and find out within ourselves what is the area we are occupying, in what areas in our lifestyle we are taking these roots inside. Also, Sri Krishna has said that the tree of life has the roots in the brain and grows downward. It's very interesting to understand that the roots are growing in the brain. That means your own intellect is just covered with compassion. It's just being absolutely one with compassion. I had told you a story about a saint who was to take to water for the deity in Gujarat, and he walked 1 month to go there with a pitcher of water. And there because it was a very high mountain on which this deity was, and he reached at the foothill. There he found a little donkey dying of thirst. So he poured all the water for that donkey. So those who were with him, they asked, "What are you doing? You brought it all the way, and why are you putting it for this donkey?" He said, "You don't know, the God has come all the way down just to meet me here. He doesn't want me to climb up." This kind of a absolutely simple understanding of another's feelings and another's problems, you can solve them. You can sort them out. And the person will tell you that you sorted out my problem, but you will not know how you have solved. Because this love is the power. This love can see things. It is everything. It's like you see a television, all right, it's a television. If you see a telephone, it's a telephone. If you see anything you do with the power, is embodied inside this love. You need not have a telephone. I never telephone to anyone. Mostly I never telephone. I mean, if somebody forces me, then it's all right. I never telephone. But not to save the bill. But I do not telephone because there's no need. The whole shuttle of the ether is at your feet. Just you want to do something, you can just do it just with the vibrations. Now many people say, "Mother, cure this person, cure that person." There's no need. You all can cure, you are so many. You can cure anyone you want to. But you bring that person to me, is not needed. Just you can cure anybody you feel. You can solve all their problems yourself. A one little bandhan can solve it. But for that, you should be the source of love. Once you give a bandhan, this powerful love takes over. All right, I'll do the job. But for that, you have to be the master of this beautiful thing. Now, one thing is very different from other masteries. In other masteries, you see people try to dominate or to try to use it for destroying others. But the mastery of love is that you know how to build a rapport with the divine love. And this divine love is not only powerful, but it is such a efficient, I should say, such an alert instrument which works out everything in such a manner that you are amazed how things have worked out. And everybody has noticed it. I know you all know it, not that you don't know, but you don't use. You have to be on the vibratory awareness and use that. Even giving yourself as a bandhan itself clarifies you. Imagine in your hand there is this great power of giving you this balance, this love, this affection, and all the protection, while you can give it to others also. You have become now the part and parcel of the divine power. You are now in the kingdom of God. Whatever you want to do can be done by this divine power. With all this telling you, I still feel sometimes you are not confident. You get upset. You feel that how can this be? You have no trust in yourself, you have no faith in us. And also there are some people sort of who feel they are neglected or something should have happened to them. Once a lady started crying. So I said, why is she crying? She said, because mother didn't smile at me. I didn't smile at her. But I never smile at anyone. I don't know why she thinks like that. So I asked her, why do you want me to smile at you? What's wrong with you? You are all right. Why should I smile at you? So, you see, also this kind of a feeling that comes up sometimes, that in Sahaja Yoga, mother should all the time be only attached to you. She cannot get attached. It's a helpless condition I have. There are so many, you don't know, defects I have, which you have no idea. I don't know how to count money. If I give me 100 rupees, I'll count it 200 rupees. See, I don't know many things. I don't know banking. I don't know many things. And one of them is I don't know how to put attention to this person or to that person, like politicians would do. You see, you must look after this man because he's very important. Nothing. To me, you are just part and parcel of me, finished. Nothing more than that. So, you see, everybody should know that you are very close to my heart. You are very much there. I am very proud of you. And something, really it's a miracle that has happened that you people have taken to Sahaja Yoga. So on that point also, that how much mother cares for me, what she does. Now supposing I tell somebody, all right, you don't sit here, sit there, they feel bad. Anything you do, they feel bad. This kind of a person has no sense of love. He doesn't understand mother's love. So at the end of the whole thing, I must tell you that when you are a guru, you are also a mother. You have to express yourself like a mother. She's kind, she's gentle, she forgives. She also